All right, we got some takes on takes. In the media, I got a couple for you.
Always, by the way.
Let's talk
We got
this
to
out.
take on anything.
I mean, low key.
Holler at us about whatever you need.
Shout out ESPN Bet. Here's a great number. I'm coming to you as a Chi-Town kid here. Chicago Flow on Twitter.
Sure.
ESPN Bet. QB's drafted number 1 overall. 0-14-1 their first start. All the way back to 0-2.
Yeah.
Your boy Caleb.
You know what's different here? You know what's different here?
Oh, gosh.
Those teams are typically always horrendous. This is a very different situation with the Chicago Bears.
So you think 7-win defense.
That number 1 pick isn't theirs. That was Carolina's number 1.
So this is an asterisk.
This is a little bit of an asterisk. You know what I'm saying? This is a little bit of a different situation. Because that wasn't their pick. This team is loaded on offense. The defense coming down the stretch was sensational. And they're at home against a poor Tennessee Titans team.
Will Levis?
That trend means nothing to me for Caleb Williams.
Never.
And
I don't know how it means nothing.
0-14-1
in their first start. Number 1 overall draft pick since 2002. So he's essentially debunking something that's never happened before.
You're going to see on Sunday. The Bears team offensively has weapons. DeAndre Swift is a number 1
You don't
back,
got to convince me.
legitimate. Khalil Herbert is the thunder on that squad, like David Montgomery and Gibbs out there. That's a similar tandem, actually. Gibbs and Montgomery versus Khalil Herbert and DeAndre Swift. DJ Moore is the man. Keenan Allen is a borderline Hall of Famer. He's been sensational for a long time now. And then the defense is going to be a top 7-8 unit in the league. That trend means nothing to me, and that's not just a Chicago bias talking.
That sounds a little Chicago bias, but I mean, I'll still hear it. It's definitely an asterisk because we've never seen.
You've never seen a trade. You've never seen a trade. Exactly. You've never seen a trade like that, and a 7-win team have the number 1 pick that lost two or three games by single digits. It's a completely different situation.
All right, let's go to Stephen A. on Lamar Jackson here. What are your thoughts on this quote here? He's comparing Lamar and Stafford. Quotations, if you got a sorry team around you like Matthew Stafford's had for 12 years, we're able to appreciate your greatness and say, that ain't on you. We haven't been able to say that about Lamar Jackson, end quote. He's kind of right to some degree. I mean, if we're thinking about it, Matthew Stafford the infrastructure of the Lions during that tenure and the infrastructure. I mean, the Ravens are a top 5 company culture. I've said it for a long time. I mean, they have a lot right. They build inside out. Not a lot of teams do that. Lamar Jackson, he's due for a little bit of a playoff show up and show out moment. Whereas Stafford, I mean, that act too. Guy went to Hollywood and
McVay took care of him. McVay took care of him.
Is that an odd comparison?
Hey, speaking of number 1 picks, you know what was the number 1 pick and was horrible? Jared Goff. He was under Jeff Fisher. He was horrible.
Yeah.
Guess who showed up and saved the day? Sean McVay. He goes over. Stafford goes to L.A. Guess who saves the day? Sean McVay. You need an offensive mind when it comes to making things happen and making things work with the quarterback position. But that is a really interesting quote from SAS because it's true. When you have been surrounded by a good coach, a good defense, and decent enough talent most of your career, you can argue that Lamar's wideouts have been lacking throughout his career.
Play with him in Madden, man. My goodness.
And potentially are still lacking. Zay Flowers is a young guy. We'll see how big of a year he has. And Mark Andrews was hurt a ton last year. So we'll see how he comes into the fold and makes an impact. But, yeah, it's tough when you look around the roster, and it's a very solid roster. Great quarterbacks drag those rosters and make them extremely better. I'm not sure we've seen Lamar drag a bad roster anywhere. He's been with good rosters and hasn't been able to take them to the top. And when you're talking about guys that have won 2 MVPs, that's what people are expecting.
I know. I still am sitting here going, can Lamar go out and win you a game like Matt Stafford did many a times in Detroit Blue? Can he? Can Lamar win you a game on his own?
Yeah, he could. He definitely can.
Ask the Chiefs.
He has.
Ask the Chiefs if he can. I don't know that he can.
Well, because we're at a spot now where it's not just beat anybody in the first round. It's like, are you able to beat Patrick Mahomes in a game. He's reached that pinnacle,
But
right? So that's the question.
To put a button on it, he threw for over 35 times in that AFC ship, and 10 points. So if the rock's in his hand, I don't know, man. Last take, Mayo, no Belichick. Gerard Mayo. You tell me, does this correlate to life? Is he trying too hard? He's got Patriots captains wearing C's on their jersey. Never happened with Belichick. I think he starts Brissett over May. I think the guy has lost at sea, and I don't know the Massachusetts sea like that. Shout out. I don't know, trying to think of a movie, Perfect Storm, whatever.
Yeah.
I think this could be. They got over 10 new coaches down the line. Abysmal offensive line. Ayuk was going to get paid generational money to go there. Turned it down. What is going positive over there?
We've made it. The New England Patriots are going to be bad for quite some time.
Enjoy your clam chowder because there ain't nothing left.
We saw the stretch of them being sensational for a long time.
Yeah.
They're going to be bad for a long time. I mean, they don't have any talent over there. Drake May, you could, depending on what report you want to believe.
Does the C's on your jersey do anything for you?
No. Well, this is the thing, right? Like, this is the NFL. It's going to come down to competing in games. I don't care what you put on the jersey. If you're competing, how about this? It's classic. If you're losing, the C is stupid. If you're winning, the C is a great idea.
Very
and you're
well
a leader
said.
and an innovator.
Why would you do that when you're over-unders? What is there over-under? It ain't even
4.5.
4.5.
Yeah,
that's a recipe.
You're stepping into the shoes of Belichick. You're trying to differentiate yourself. I'm not sure that's the way to do it, but we will find out shortly.
Takes all year.
All year. Anything you need to. Holler at us.
I need to take on some style. I got a breakdown here.